In the ancient town of Oru, there lived two inseparable lovers named Dara and Kamau. They met as teenagers beside the village stream, where children fetched water every evening. From the very first day, they loved each other with a kind of devotion that frightened even the elders. Where Dara went, Kamau followed. Where Kamau stood, Dara's shadow could always be found beside his. People often joked that they shared one soul divided into two bodies. As they grew older, their love deepened dangerously. They spoke constantly of forever, swearing that neither death, wealth, nor distance would ever separate them. One night during the Festival of Lanterns, they sneaked away from the celebration and climbed the sacred Heaven Hill, a forbidden place where ancient lovers once made spiritual covenants. At the top of the hill stood an old leafless tree covered in rusted padlocks, tied by past lovers. The elders warned that promises made they were heard by unseen spirits, but young love never fears consequences. Under the moonlight, Dara brought out a small silver needle she had stolen from her grandmother. "We should bind our souls," she whispered. Kamau smiled foolishly in love. Without hesitation, they pricked their fingers until blood formed at their fingertips. Then they pressed their wounds together, blood mixed with blood, soul with soul. Next, they each wrote their names on small pieces of paper and locked them inside a golden padlock. Together, they spoke their vow. No matter where life takes us, no matter death itself, we shall never leave each other. Then they threw the locked covenant into the river beneath Heaven Hill. The moment the padlock sank beneath the water, the wind suddenly stopped, and somewhere deep in the darkness, something whispered back, "So shall it be." Years passed. Kamau and Dara became the envy of the town. Their love survived poverty, hardship, and time itself, until tragedy came. One rainy evening, Dara was traveling back from the city market when the bridge crossing River Oru collapsed beneath the storm. Her body was never found. Kamau shattered completely. For months he mourned her endlessly. He stopped eating, stopped laughing. Some villagers even feared he was losing his mind because he constantly spoke, as though Dara was still beside him. But slowly, time carried him forward. 5 years later, Kamau became wealthy after opening successful trading businesses across neighboring kingdoms. He moved into a large mansion and tried to rebuild his life. Then he met another woman. Her name was Chiamaka. She was kind, beautiful, and patient with his broken heart. For the first time since Dara's death, Kamau allowed himself to love again. When he announced his engagement, strange things began happening. At first it was small. Every photograph containing Chiamaka became mysteriously soaked with water. Whispers echoed through the hallways at night. Wet footprints appeared inside locked rooms. And every single time Kamau tried placing the wedding ring on Chiamaka's finger, he would hear Dara's voice whispering softly, "You promised." Then the nightmares began. Kamau dreamed of Dara standing at the bottom of a dark river, staring at him silently with dead eyes and soaking wet hair. Each dream ended the same way. She would lift her bleeding hand and whisper, "You bound your soul to mine." Kamau tried ignoring it, but the spirit grew stronger. On the night before his wedding, the entire mansion flooded mysteriously despite clear weather outside. Water poured from the walls, the mirrors cracked, and written across every surface in dripping water were the terrifying words, "Till death never parts us." That was when Kamau remembered the covenant. Their promise had not included death. The blood covenant had bound their souls beyond the grave. Terrified, Kamau returned to Heaven Hill, seeking answers from the oldest priest in Oru village. The old man turned pale after hearing the story. "You fools," he whispered. "The covenant tree is not for ordinary lovers. It is for eternal bindings. Once blood is offered beneath that tree, the spirits recognize the union as sacred beyond life itself." Kamau's voice trembled. "How do I break it?" The priest looked away sadly. "You do not break such covenants." Meanwhile, back at the mansion, Chiamaka began hearing a woman singing softly in empty rooms. Water dripped constantly from the ceilings, and every night at exactly midnight, someone knocked on the bedroom door 3 times. The final night came during a violent thunderstorm. Kamau woke to find the entire mansion submerged ankle-deep in river water. At the end of the hallway stood Dara, not as the beautiful girl he once loved, but pale, drowned, and smiling sadly. "You promised forever," she whispered. Then she stretched out her hand, and the river water began rising toward the ceiling. "The covenant has awakened. The river is rising. The dead have returned. And Dara has come to claim the promise Kamau made beneath Heaven Hill." But what if the curse was never about revenge? What secret lies buried beneath the waters of River Oru? Can a vow made in blood be broken? Or will Kamau be dragged into eternity by the woman he once loved? Don't miss part 2 of The Deadly Covenant, where love, loss, and destiny collide in a shocking final chapter.